welcome back to the Breaker Bros. And tonight we're going to react to the 2024 Bengals schedule. And did you have like any initial reactions when you first saw the schedule or heard about it?
I just realized that like schedule release videos have become a thing in the NFL, and I don't know how I feel about that. So it's like independent of the schedule. I'm just like everybody's got a schedule release video, and I tried to watch the ones from the AFC North, and let's see, I watched 30 seconds of the Bengals video, and I had to turn it off. I got through 45 seconds of the Browns, and then turned it off, and then I started watching the Ravens, and they even had like Stavi, you know, Halocus. Anyway, like a good comedian do it, and it wasn't funny. So I watched like a minute of it because he's funny, but the video is not very funny. So, and then I started to think, you know what? Here I am making fun of their schedule release videos, and it's just like, isn't that what we're doing right now? Is basically a schedule release live stream. So I started to feel very self-conscious. So those are my initial thoughts on the schedule release. Yours?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of shocked that the Bengals got, I guess, 5 primetime games. That seemed... I was thinking maybe they would get 3 based off of what happened last year, but I guess with Joe Burrow, there's always going to be hype as long as he stays healthy. And then I guess with the primetime games, I was kind of shocked to see that like the Giants, and I kind of expected to get a Thursday night against the Browns because that seems like that happens every year. I could be wrong, but
I don't know. Ryan Finley game was against the Steelers, so.
Well, I don't know. It feels like we play. Was that on
that was
Thursday
Muppet night football, so I think that was a Monday night game.
Yeah, I didn't think that was Thursday.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like we have a primetime game against Washington and then the Giants. I'm like, really? Why those two?
I think Geno Atkins got hurt in a Thursday night game against the Dolphins. If I remember right.
Yeah. And then, in a weird way, I was kind of hoping that the Cowboys game wouldn't be a primetime game, but it ended up being a primetime game.
Would that be safe for us to go to?
I mean, I'm definitely going to go to it, but yeah, I mean,
you're going
for sure. It's in Dallas, but it kind of sucks because it's Monday night. Yeah, I would like to tailgate, but yeah, I mean, you're more than welcome to come out, and yeah, I mean, I would like you to come if you can make it happen, but it's December 9th, so it's pretty late in the year.
Yeah, but it's like close to your, birthday and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So
it's like 2 games, really. December 15th and December 9th. But yeah, obviously the Monday night game is a bit closer, but we've already experienced the Dallas Cowboys game at Dallas. And with it being a Monday night game, like...
Yeah, that 4-foot tall guy tried to fight us.
After he offered to buy us a t-shirt.
Yeah.
But no, I know if we go to that game, it's just like it's gonna be one of those things where we probably won't get out there until like 2 a.m. But we're definitely, if you do show up, we're gonna get actual parking tickets or parking lot tickets or parking pass. I should say.
Tailgate's the way to go because of the post game.
Yeah,
like because you can't get anything. Texas Live is a ripoff. I mean, we paid money to get in, thinking that you had to pay money to get in, and then after the game, they just let everybody in, so you couldn't get like.
But I think that's if they win, right? If they lose, it might be a little bit different.
If they lose, they're like more restrictive.
I would think.
I'm just saying,
but
it would have been cheaper
maybe not.
For us to go to the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert after the game and just hang out. We would have been able to get food and stuff at the concert better than Texas Live.
I don't know. I feel like in this case, especially with it being Monday night, I doubt there's going to be a concert after or whenever the game ends, because it'll probably be closer to what the game starts at. Well, it says 8:15, but I don't think the game officially starts until like 8:30. until
but
after all the intros.
It's your time, right? So it'd be like 10 o'clock. It would get over, right? 10:15.
Oh, okay. So that's Eastern time. Yeah,
Yeah, well,
I keep forgetting that. Yeah, I'm in Dallas, so I guess it is an hour before. Okay, maybe it won't be too bad, but
No, but I think the move is to tailgate and then, just plan on hanging out in the parking lot, cooking up some burgers or dogs, waiting for traffic to clear up.
Yeah, I got the grill.
Sweet, you got that sweet Blackstone grill. You can fire that thing up.
Yeah, no, I'm down. But yeah, I guess back to the schedule. I guess starting out at the beginning of the season, I feel like the first 6 or so games, or at least the first half of the season, is very beneficial for the Bengals. Because what we play out of the first 4 games, we play at least 2 rookie quarterbacks, and then 1 second-year quarterback. Obviously, the Chiefs game is going to be a bit more difficult because it'll be at Arrowhead. I don't want to start that controversy again.
I don't think you can start the controversy. That'd be cool if you did.
I also want to say, with the first game of the year against the Patriots at home, I want to say the Bengals they're the biggest favorite to win in the first week, or they have the best odds to win, I should say. I think they're already like 7.5 points favorites.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Patriots are clearly rebuilding at this point, but I don't know, man. You never know. Never know.
I was kind of hoping we would play the Steelers early in the season because I feel like a lot of their offensive line are going to be rookies, and it would be kind of nice
if good rookies.
Yeah, I mean, regardless if they're going to be good or not, I mean, it still takes time to kind of get acclimated to the NFL and then working more cohesive as a team. By the end of the year, they'll probably be a little bit more coordinated. And
so on week 18, why does it say January 4th-5th? I guess that's like a flex game. It could be either of those days.
Yeah, because I feel like they did that last year too.
Okay.
It says the same thing on week 17. It says, was it 28th and 29th?
Oh, yeah.
So
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I think they've been doing that the last couple of years where it has like the flex option. But I think the majority of the games, primetime games that is, are have flex potential. So like I could easily see the Giants game getting flexed out. Yeah, it feels weird that the Redskins and the Washington football team, Commanders, whatever the name. Sorry, I'm from the 90s.
Hold on. I got something for you. Keep talking.
But no, it just feels weird that the Washington and New York are primetime games. I don't understand why people would want to watch that as like a collective group.
Well, because those are huge markets. I mean, the Commanders.
Shout out the 619 Bengals fan. Who dey? What do you think about the schedule?
The Commanders have like a big fan base. The Commanders? Is that right?
Yeah, it's the
football
Commanders.
Team?
Yeah.
And then I wanted to say, never mind. And then the Giants. I mean, big market. To me, that's like a good sign, right? Like that the Bengals are playing against like big market teams, like on prime time, like with respect to Washington and the Giants.
Guess you're the only one here right now. Right on 14-3. Okay. I dig it.
We don't do predictions. You have to wait with bated breath, and then Josh will drop his like analysis of how the Bengals are going to go 16-1 this season. Like
we usually wait until closer into the season before I guess I make my predictions, but I was thinking about that too. We kind of have to put an asterisk on it because it's in mind that everyone stays healthy, the key people, aka Burrow. But I don't know. I mean, the fact that they went 9-8 last year with a backup half the year, to me that's a good sign because, and I guess we'll get into it because later in the season there's kind of drama, I would say, because there's a span of 3. Well, yeah, because if you look at the Monday night game that we were talking about before, through that Thursday night game with the Browns, they play 3 games in 10 days. and I saw a lot of Bengals fans kind of upset with that, especially with 2 of those games being away. I guess out of those 3 games, and it sucks because it's that Monday night game, I feel like that's probably the least important game. So if they need to rest anyone, I feel like that would be the time.
Yeah, you're already worried about week 14 rest.
No, I mean, it's the NFL. They're professional athletes, and the only real disadvantage is that they play on Monday night leading into the Sunday game. So the Texans will have an extra day of rest. But the same thing.
Or the Titans?
Or I'm sorry, the Titans. Sorry, the Titans. Yeah.
Yeah, but they have our playbook. I mean, isn't that an advantage?
Well, same thing with them. I mean,
how do we have their playbook?
Well, do you think Brian Callahan is really going to do that much different, or do you not think that?
I think Brian Callahan is going to cut all the tight ends from the Tennessee Titans because clearly he hates tight ends. As soon as he leaves, the Bengals sign like every single tight end they can find.
Yeah, but I think we know as much as about them as they know about us. Because I mean, the fact that he was our offensive coordinator.
No, because he didn't call plays.
Yeah, but from what I understand, they had a lot of meetings together. Him and or our head coach and him. Apparently, they were always working with each other, or like had a lot of meetings. So I think they know each other pretty well, or know each other's tendencies.
Okay, but the Titans aren't going to be good this year, right? Who do they have?
I mean, I feel like
they have AJ Brown, right? No, AJ Brown's with the Eagles. That's why the last guy got fired, because they got rid of AJ Brown.
Yeah, and then they signed. I feel like they signed several key pieces this offseason, offensive wise.
Okay.
Which is kind of crazy because they basically
they're going to be a completely different team because they got rid of Derrick Henry.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not
slander Derrick Henry now.
No, I think Derrick Henry is a really good running back. I worry with him being on the Ravens just because they kind of it's kind of like taboo because it feels like all their starting running backs eventually get hurt.
It's taboo, or are you predicting that?
I don't want to say it either way. I just not that I want to put that bad juju on him or anything, but it just seems to happen a lot. That if you just look at the last,
you sound like a mob boss. It'd be extremely unfortunate if.
Well, it's because you don't want to. I don't want to say wish injuries on or even suggest, but it just happens because I feel like they
just wish fumbles, right?
Yeah, fumbles is all right.
Derrick Henry fumbles a lot when he plays the Bengals.
But yeah, I guess going back to the beginning of the schedule, the first 4 games, I feel like reasonably we can go 3-1 if all things go well, especially if Burrow has a full offseason.
Okay.
Well, no, I mean, just
I feel like
14-3.
Something tells me 14-3.
I feel like that's within reason. I also feel like the Ravens are kind of.
I take it, but I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like the Ravens are kind of being, what's the right word? Overrated? Yeah. I just feel like they lost a lot, and for them to continue to do what they did last year is kind of a tall task. So I can see them actually underperforming. But we don't play them until, week 5?
Yeah. So they got 2 Thursday night games, 5 primetime games. So the Sunday night game is week 6. That's before they flex them, right?
No, I think the flex starts earlier.
Oh, really?
Now.
So yeah, the Bengals could get flexed out on Monday night?
Potentially.
Okay.
You're talking about the Washington game?
So I meant to say Sunday night. I'm talking about the New York game, week 6.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were kind of talking about that earlier, but I'm surprised that's a primetime game. I mean, I guess
it's a very popular team, man.
Yeah, but I mean, do they have buzz this offseason? Because I feel like they don't. I just saw that they came out with those alternate jerseys. They didn't look that good to me, but they're like the old school jerseys. But I don't know. It feels like a lot's going on. It's simple, but a lot going on with their alternate jerseys. But I feel like what was it until week 9?
Mhm.
Is that considered the first half now? I'm trying to do the math. Yeah.
Well,
About right.
week 8.5.
Well, yeah, it's like you do 9 the first half or 8 in the first half, and then 9 in the last half. But all the way
Depends
through
on
the
if you're a
Raiders
first
game.
half or second half team.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like if there were any year to start out strong, this would be it, because it feels like the first half is a bit easier than the second half. And then I guess another little weird thing is that it feels like there's a lot of stretches where we go on the road back to back. So
Yeah, looking at the schedule, like the whole middle of the schedule looks away.
yeah, and I want to say there's only 2 stretches where the Bengals have back to back home games. But I mean, overall, it looks pretty balanced. There's not. I can't remember if there was ever a period where they were on the road 3 weeks in a row, but I guess that doesn't really happen that often in the NFL, or maybe not at all. But it feels, for the most part, pretty balanced. And then until you get to that 3-week stretch where we have those 3 games in 10 days. But that could also be a benefit, because that following game after the Browns, we get basically that mini bye because we play on the Thursday into the Broncos. But yeah, I guess they decided to do the schedule a little bit differently, because I feel like the last couple of years it's like they started in conference games. It seemed like the first 2 games and the last 2 games were always divisional games.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they kind of mix it up, because I think they noticed that like teams that played really well throughout the season, they got to the point where I feel like they could rest more. So I feel like more teams were resting towards the end of the season. And I think they're trying to get away from that, even though we do play the Steelers in the very last week of the season. And I was actually kind of shocked that the Eagles game wasn't a primetime game. I kind of felt like that would have been like an easy game to make a primetime versus like Washington or the Giants.
Well, it's the 4:25 game.
Think they'll split against the Ravens and Browns, and then the other you see them taking an L is KC, Dallas, or Philly. But that's it. Other games, Bengals should win, or they can just kill it and go 15-2. Yeah, I mean, I've always been kind of like that, where, especially with division games, I feel like 3-3 makes the most sense, especially in the AFC North. Obviously, we didn't do that last year, but
a little short.
Well, like I said, I feel like the Ravens are a little bit overrated. I think the Browns are just the Browns. And then the Steelers are a bit more of a wild card. Even though I feel like the Steelers are probably the weakest in the division, they always play really well against the Bengals. All the AFC North teams play really well against the Bengals. It always feels like. And that's why I think splitting the division seems the most realistic, going 3-3. But if they can go 4-2 or better, then I think that really increases their odds of winning the division and then potentially getting that number 1 seed. Because that to me should be the number 1 focus, is like starting out fast, maintaining that momentum, and then rolling into the postseason with a bye. Especially with how things are going, because I think the bye in the playoffs, especially with it having 17 games now for the last couple of seasons, would be very beneficial, because for those teams like the Chiefs, I was gonna say Bengals, but when you consistently make the playoffs year in and year out, I mean, that has to have a toll over, like a 3 or 4 year period, because like they're playing the extended, well, with the 17 games plus 3 or 4 games on top of it, because their offseason doesn't really start until I guess closer to February. So you would think over a period of time
off.
Well, teams that don't have to play the playoffs, yeah, they get extra time.
Yeah, but doesn't it seem like the teams that perennially are in the playoffs, you know what I mean? Like it's like a group. So I don't know how big of a disadvantage that is. Seems like it turns into an advantage just from playing those games and having that competition.
I'm trying to think on the AFC side, I mean, obviously there's the Chiefs that
Yeah.
tend to make the playoffs every year, but part of that too is that they have a weak division.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Yeah.
hoping with some of the coaching changes that they had this offseason, it could be a little bit more competitive.
Yeah, but not too competitive because we have to play the Harbaughs too. We have to play a Harbaughs 3 times.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just realized that.
Yeah. They're going to be sharing notes and stuff.
Who did the Chargers draft? They got a lineman, right? They got
Joe Alt.
That's right. They got Alt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. That's the right thing to do. I think the majority of teams that have established quarterbacks or established good quarterbacks, they got offensive linemen.
We got to talk about the strength of schedule thing.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about it?
I don't know. You wanted me to pull it up. The only thing I like about it is that if you look at the strength of schedule, you see Steelers have the hardest schedule according to Sharp Football Analysis based on Vegas forecasted win totals. And then the Browns and the Ravens are all in the bottom 4. And the Bengals have the 6th easiest schedule.
I don't think this is like the true strength of schedule because it says based on Vegas forecasted win totals. It just means that.
Well, it's a good time to bring that up now.
Well, it gives you an idea of where teams are projected as far as wins, based off of how good they are versus how strong their schedule is. And I know for the most part, the Bengals have, especially compared to last year, a much weaker strength of schedule this year. But I guess it also shows that the majority of teams that we play, we should beat based off of Vegas odds. It's kind of that's interesting that the Browns. Yeah, look, all of our AFC rivals, AFC North rivals, are actually pretty much at the bottom. That's interesting. I didn't realize the Ravens were that low.
Yeah, right there.
Well, they're 4th from the bottom.
Yeah, right there.
I guess that's right.
Yeah.
It's weird because like when I watch back the stream, sometimes like
right over here,
the direction I'm looking is opposite from what I see now.
Yeah, no, it's right. I should be using my left hand. Nope, did it wrong. I should be doing like that.
But yeah, it's also kind of weird that we had 2 Thursday night games. I think there's the Browns also have 2 Thursday night games, and then I think maybe one other team.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the benefit of that is that if you can win, and then you still have those extra days for that following week, so you should have more rest playing against the Chargers and Broncos.
Yeah, unless they make the Broncos game the 28th, then you lose one of those days, right?
Honestly, the Bengals have been the best team in the league for about 2 years now. Chiefs got lucky that Burrow got injured last year, or else I think the Bengals
we call it luck. It's definitely not fixing games or cheating. It's just, luck.
I think part of it too is the Burrow effect, and one of the reasons why I really like Burrow as a quarterback and the leader of the team is that it feels like the opposite of Andy Dalton, and I'm not like trying to shame Andy Dalton, but it just seemed like when the lights were the brightest.
Of Andy Dalton?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just it seems like in primetime games or games that have high importance.
Yeah.
I feel like Burrow shows out even more. Like he just has that effect. Like like in the playoffs or those primetime games or those key matchups, he tends to do really well versus Andy Dalton. And I'm just using that because that was just
what you're saying is Andy Dalton tends to lose his luggage on primetime games.
Are you saying that because he literally lost his luggage?
Yeah. I was following along on Twitter. I'm like, I hope he gets his suitcase back.
Yeah, the funny part was that was here in Dallas too.
Yeah.
He lost his luggage.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in Dallas. You're in Cincinnati, just to clarify. But
yeah,
I don't know. I guess going back to the schedule, Raiders. No, let's just talk about the teams that could be tough. So the Chiefs.
Okay. Chiefs, they could be tough, yes.
I would say obviously the Ravens,
Okay, yes.
especially against Lamar Jackson, because I feel like he's got a really good record against the Bengals. And I feel like the Browns and Steelers are going to be like wild card games. Like they could go either way just because that's just how it is against division foes. Eagles should be tough.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I mean, looking at that, kind of going back to what 619 Bengals fan said, it
So
does feel like,
you don't think the Raiders are very good next year, huh? You're not Aiden O'Connell truther?
I don't think he's going to be starting by then.
What?
It's Minshew.
Aiden O'Connell's a G, man.
I mean, I would love for him to still be playing by then, but I doubt he's going to hold off Minshew by then.
Yeah. Okay.
I really think he'll be the starter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, by week 9 for sure. If not, let's put it this way: whoever starts the season is not going to be the quarterback by week 9. I think either way, it's going to flip flop.
It might flip flop back though.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like
Flip flop a couple times.
Yeah, you never know. Flip flops tend to flip flop.
Oh, and then if we didn't mention the Chargers, obviously the Chargers could be a tough game.
Yeah,
but yeah. Outside of that, I can see why
I remember the last time the Bengals played the Chargers. Well, I remember when the Chargers came to town, they were like up by like 50 at like halftime. Some Chargers fan was in the bathroom threatening to fight everybody. It's crazy.
Wait, the Bengals were up by 50, or the Chargers?
The Chargers. Chargers came into Cincinnati and smoked us.
Really?
Yeah.
Who was the quarterback? Was it Herbert?
Yeah, I think it was Herbert.
Why do I feel like Joe Burrow was Joe Burrow playing though?
I think so, yeah.
Because I feel like he's got a winning record against Herbert, but I could be not remembering that correctly.
How many times did the Bengals play the Chargers?
With Burrow, I think only once.
Okay.
Are you sure that wasn't his rookie season and he was hurt by then?
I don't remember the exact year. It all kind of blurs together.
Do you remember if it was like early in the year or later in the year? Like, was it cold?
No, I can't remember.
It's irrelevant. It's a new year. A lot of things.
I was just
change.
surprised at the number of Chargers fans at the game. That's the thing I remember.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. I wouldn't.
But I bet you it's
Chargers
cheaper for a Chargers fan to fly to Cincinnati and watch the game than it is to watch the game in LA.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people posting pictures of like how much it costs to get into certain games, and it feels like the ticket prices for most teams have gone up pretty significantly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the cheapest ticket to get in to the first game of the year was it the Ravens versus the Chiefs? I think just to get in is like $312.
Yeah.
So
hey,
like,
take my screen down. And I'll Google and figure out the answer to your Chargers question.
Okay,
There you go. All right.
we can hide that.
Let me effort it.
I don't know. This season feels a little bit weird, I guess, too, because one of the things I'm really hoping is that Joe Burrow can have a full offseason. And I think that is going to dictate how well they're going to start the beginning of the year. Because I think part of the reason why they usually start the year slow is that it just takes him a little while to kind of like get his bearings for not playing in the offseason.
Okay, so Bengals lost to the Chargers week 1 in 2020, but that's not the game I'm thinking of. So is it 2021? Yeah, December 5th, 2021. Chargers 41, Bengals 22, but it was like 41-0. Well, let me.
Can you Google Burrow's record against Herbert?
So far, it's 0-2.
That's crazy. don't know. For some reason, it just doesn't feel right to me. But it's
But look at this box score. Okay, so it wasn't like 50-0, but I remember I must have went to the bathroom around here. And that's when Chargers guy was threatening to fight people in the bathroom. And then it got a little bit better, and then it got worse. But then, like the other time, is 2020. Chargers 16, Bengals 13.
okay. So according to StatHead Football, Burrow's 0-1 against Herbert.
What? 0-1?
Yeah, like he's only played him once.
Oh, did Herbert not start in 2020?
He should have. They were drafted in the same year.
That's what I thought.
Because Burrow went first. Tua was the second quarterback taken.
Yeah.
And then Herbert was the third.
It doesn't say in the box score because they scored their touchdown on runs. All right.
Yeah, Burrow didn't have that good of a game the time that they went head to head. I mean, he had 300 yards, but he had 1 touchdown to 2 interceptions. His passer rating was 70. Herbert was 118. But I would, well, I don't know. It's hard to say because they both were picked earlier. Like, to me, when Burrow got onto the Bengals, the team wasn't that great.
Mm-hmm.
And they just had like a really good drafts and really good off seasons to kind of flip everything around.
Yeah, I mean the Chargers could be dangerous.
No, I like the Chargers. I mean I like their potential. I should say. I think.
Yeah, except they
with
don't
the
have
new-
any receivers, so that could
That's-
be to
that's
the Bengals'
true.
advantage.
I think the Bengals would match up pretty well against them because I would say one of our weaknesses would probably be cornerback going into next season
Mhm.
because I know we have Cam Taylor-Britt,
Mhm.
solid starter, but then it's the second starting cornerback is what you kind of have to worry about. Is it going to be
Dax Hill?
Yeah, is it going to be Dax Hill?
I hope so. Or else
Or is it going to be the corner that we drafted last year in the second round? Which he played really.
Turner?
Yeah, DJ Turner played well at the beginning of the year, and then as he started playing a little bit more,
He turned into toast.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it was kind of mixed. It seemed like that side of the field was getting picked on, whether it was
yeah,
him
it felt
or
like
Awuzie.
people were scheming to like throw the ball to his guy, which is crazy because I guess it just goes to show you that, you know, speed is not necessarily the only thing that matters when you're covering people, because he's like 4.3 guy.
No, he's extremely fast. Same thing with Dax
Right.
Hill. I think they're both 4.3 guys.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of a question mark. Like, are they going to play well enough, especially when you play against teams that have better receivers? The Chargers, like I said, or I guess what we said, should be a pretty good matchup against the Bengals, or we should match up against them well. Because I don't know, I feel like we say this every year, or at least the last 3 years, right? Because it feels like we upgraded our offensive line,
Yeah.
and then we have the weapons.
Weapons galore.
Well, it just feels like we have way more depth this year. That to me feels like the difference. If you look at tight end, you could say that position got upgraded.
Yeah.
You could kind of look at receivers and potentially say that's gotten better, just because you have.
More than potentially, I think it's better. I think the Bengals are better at receiver this year than they were.
Well, they're
last year.
faster, younger, more
They're just
experience.
better.
Well, I shouldn't say more experience. I'm just saying those the receivers that we drafted last year, Yosavash and Charlie Jones, they're going to be second-year players, and they're faster. I love Boyd, but one of the knocks with Boyd's is that he's not necessarily the fastest guy on the field.
Mhm.
He always finds a way to get open, which is nice. But then if you replace him with Burton, who's got more, breakaway speed, and when we watched his highlights, the thing that we loved about Burton is that he tracks the ball really well, and then he's really physical. Like he's got a
that's
bit
the
of
part
a
I liked is that he was chippy.
yeah. No, that I think, and I think Boyd was kind of like that way too. But I think the edge is that he's a bit faster, and I think when you have Burton, Chase,
Whoever starts at 3 is gonna be, I think an upgrade over Boyd because Jones, Yoshavash, or Burton, they're gonna have to beat the other 2 out. So I think that position's open, and I think it's gonna be a battle.
I think Charlie Jones,
whoever emerges, is gonna be
for me at least. Charlie Jones is more of like a special teams type guy. Like I can't see him as a number 3. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
but I think that number.
I think you're wrong on that. I think you're sleeping on Charlie Jones.
No, I think he's good if you sprinkle him in here and there. But
he was hurt last year. You're sleeping on him.
When was he hurt?
Like for half the season, he was hurt.
Yeah, that's right. Because I think it was like the second week he scored that touchdown, and I think the week after that he broke something in his hand. But
yeah,
no, I don't think I'm necessarily wrong about that. I could see Yosavash being the 3rd because I think he
Charlie
can take
Jones is faster than Yoshivas.
Well, okay, we just
and
said
he has like more
everything.
Receiving yards than Yoshivas, and in college, and Charlie Jones played in the Big Ten.
Yeah, but Charlie Jones is small.
He's not that small.
I mean, he's small for an NFL receiver.
No, he's not.
I feel like he is.
Okay, well,
if you put him next to Yosavash, there's a big difference.
Put down my screen. I'm going to Google's it.
Okay. But no, I mean, going back to what I was trying to say before is that whoever the 3rd is, right? Plus, you got Kaseki and then the rookie tight ends that we drafted. Plus, they're going to use Chase Brown a little bit more, I feel like. So overall, it feels like the offense is going to be a little bit more explosive. Plus, if Trent Brown can stay healthy and if Marius Mims is who we think he can be, I feel like the offensive line has gotten a little bit better. And it seems like it's gotten a little bit better each year. I know, like, some years it feels like you were thinking the line would get drastically better, but it's progressively gotten better since Burrow has been a quarterback. But I feel like this could be the year.
He's 5'11", 175, and he ran a 4.4 340.
Okay. But Yosavash is like 6'3".
Yes.
But 200 pounds in it.
4.5.
No, I think he ran a 4.4.
Did he?
I think they basically ran the same speed.
Yoshivash. How you spell it?
Just start typing it out. It should fill it out. Isn't it like
U-A-Y?
No, I think it starts. Oh well, I thought it starts with an I. I thought.
Yep. So he's 6'3", 205.
Ran a 4.43.
4.43.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have a much bigger body that runs basically the same speed. That's why, like, to me, it's either Burton or Yosavash that's going to be the 3rd. But I feel like Burton probably has the edge.
Don't sleep on Charlie Jones, man.
I like Charlie Jones. I like him as.
I'm just saying.
He's going to be a solid 4th or 5th receiver, most likely a 5th receiver. And then he is really good at punt returns, and he might be doing the kickoff returns now.
I mean, the Bengals don't even agree with you.
619 Bengals fan says Charlie Jones and Burton will battle for. Hey, I'm just saying what I see. It's just my truth. But hey, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'll admit it.
But that's the thing, though. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that, like, it's going to be a battle. Like,
and
whoever emerges
and that's what
as
we
the
want.
number 3 receiver, I think, is going to be an upgrade over Tyler Boyd last year, just because they're going to have to earn it this year. That's the only point I was trying to make. Not that like so and so was better than so and so or so and so was going to win. I don't know.
But
I just know that like you've got 3 really young, talented dudes that are going to be battling for the number 3 spot, and I like that. I like how it's set up.
If you just look at the
emerges
roster,
as the number 3 is going to be a dude.
So spots 1 through 5 are all going to be legitimate deep threats, and that's what I really like.
Yeah,
And maybe even the
speed.
Jones better step up because Burton is going to take the. Yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
it's
that's
Burton's
what I mean.
spot to lose.
I think Burton's going to take it because Burton was a dude at Alabama, and
they had really good corners. So
but I mean, to start at receiver at Alabama, you got to beat out other 5-star dudes. So
yeah,
I really like Burton on this team. I like everything. I like everything about him. I like the fact that he slid in the draft because people had character concerns. I like the fact that he's chippy. I like the fact that he played at Alabama. I like that he has something to show, something to prove, and I just feel like he's going to be the guy that ultimately wins out. But he's going to have to earn it because, like, Jones and Yoshivash are not slouches. Those dudes could start for other teams. So I just like how that's going to play out. And then, you have the depth, but even if you don't have to go to the depth, whoever is the number 3 guy is going to be a really good player this year. And that's why I think that the receiving corps has been upgraded.
and that's why when
younger and faster, and whoever wins that job is going to have to earn it.
And I think when you look at the 3, 4, and 5 spot, however you want to shuffle it, those guys, if you get them in space, they all have potential to take it to the house. I feel like because they have that breakaway speed. I think.
But I think that's what's
Higgins,
like the underrated part about Gesicki is that Gesicki could take it to the house.
Oh yeah, well
he's
yeah, because
fast.
he's getting exposed to the middle, and he's
but I mean, the
faster than
Bengals
most
haven't had
linebackers.
that threat,
Right. And that's what they say about Eric All too, is that he's a pretty athletic tight end and he can block fairly well. It's just there were a lot of injury concerns. It seemed like a lot of people were worried about his back. I think he had some type of it wasn't like a fusion thing. I think it was something else. Like it was something to relieve pressure from what I can remember, but he is coming off an ACL. But I mean, we still have Hudson, which I don't know if he's as fast as Eric All or even Gesicki, but I like Hudson as a receiving tight end. I don't know too much of him as like a blocker, but it seemed like when he was in, he had like a 33% chance of getting the ball, which is pretty good for like.
Mm-hmm. I just think that the Gesicki signing is incredibly underrated.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like the last grouping of tight ends that the Bengals have had have not done anything outside of playing with Burrow, right?
619 Bengals fan, who's your favorite Bengals player? Actually answer that, and then who do you think is going to be the biggest surprise this year? I have a feeling you're going to say Chase Brown. No, I'm just kidding. I think a lot of people are saying that, but...
Well, I mean, I've been complaining about Chase Brown's carries for like... I'm trying to do the math here. September? Like 8 months.
No, I like the more I think about it, it just like hit me. The Bengals have actually gotten sneaky fast.
Yeah.
I am interested to see what they're going to do for the third running back, though. Not that we need to have 3 running backs touch the ball every single game.
Someone got confused about the Oklahoma State running back depth chart and who the Bengals got.
you know the funny part about that, like when we were watching that film, I was like, man, this could be our first round pick next year. You know what I mean? Like it could work out to where
Well,
he could be our
I
guy.
think the highest that you would pick a running back is second round. I mean, the with Benson,
Or if you're
and
picking 32nd, that's basically the second round.
even so, I think like with Benson and Wright, I just like those guys were electric, and they were like what, third and fourth rounders.
Yeah, no,
I just think the days of a running back going. in
it
the
killed
first
me
round
to
are
see
over.
Wright go to the Dolphins. I'm like, really? Do you really need another really fast running back? You already
Yeah,
have
mostly
too many.
because you're going to hear me complain about it.
No, I think we were pretty much aligned on running backs. I think we wanted the fast, dynamic running backs that could take it to the house. And
Although to be fair, I forgot about the Zach Moss signing. I think Zach Moss is that kind of guy too. I think he.
I don't think he's got that breakaway speed, but
Oh yeah, for sure he does. He's had like, I think last year he had 2 or 3.
But he doesn't run a 4.3.
It doesn't. Whatever he runs. Last year he had 2 or 3 40-yard, 30-yard plus touchdown runs.
well, it's a good signing because you get great value, and he's tough to tackle, and yeah, he can, and he's a bit younger too. So like, it was
But
just
stylistically, he fits more what the Bengals need. They need a guy that could take it
Right.
to the house,
right.
because 4 yards nobody cares about.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
I feel like he's gonna do.
maybe he's a better fit for the Texans, because I feel like for how much I was not a Mixon fan, most of it was because it's just fit. Like to me, if you want to get the most out of Mixon, you got to run the ball 20, 30 times a game. You got to be committed to the run and wear out the other team, and the Bengals were not.
Oh, he says
Zach
Zach.
Moss.
There you go. Love it.
Yeah.
I hope he does
there you
really
go.
well. But no, he's the right guy for what we need, because he's the one that's going to grind out the tough yards, because not every run is going to be where you have a wide open hole, especially in the AFC North. I mean, he's going to have to break a lot of tackles, and I think he's one of the better running backs after contact, I want to say. I think he scored really well in those advanced analytics. But I think the problem with the Bengals too, when it comes to the running game, is that they run out of zone, or no, I'm sorry, they run out of shotgun way too much. And I feel like hopefully going into this year, because of last year or the end of last year where they weren't playing with Burrow and they had to, I feel like they were running out of
I feel
center.
like that's a Mixon thing.
No, it's not.
Like, I don't know, man.
I don't
Lots
think
of
it's a
teams
mixing
run out of
thing,
shotgun.
because no, I've heard a lot of professional players and analysts say that if you're continuously running out of shotgun, it's real easy for the defense to know what you're doing. And like the part of the reason why you want to take the ball under the center is that you give the defense different looks, and it's harder for them to tell if it's going to be play action or a run or just a straight up pass, because the motion's the same. And then another negative of running out of shotgun is that when you're getting the ball, right, you're stepping to your side, grabbing the ball, and then you're running. When you're running directly from behind the quarterback, you're building momentum, right? And you're actually running downhill before you get the ball. And to me, that's the biggest difference, is that I just hope they just sprinkle in a few runs from under the center, and not always run out of shotgun.
I just think that Mixon is not the kind of guy you want to run from shotgun.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he's the best at it either.
Like,
No,
I feel like Zach Moss and Chase Brown fit running from shotgun, whereas I feel like Joe Mixon is like a guy that, of course, in college he ran a lot from shotgun. So I will say this: Mixon was an awesome football player at Oklahoma. It was shocking how fast he looked on video.
yeah, and to be fair, everyone's faster in the NFL, so it's not as easy to break off those big runs. But I mean, he played at a big program, so it's not like he was playing.
Yeah, he was probably faster in college than he was last year. I just think he's lost this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he's taken. I mean, Out
Yeah,
of all the running backs,
can you make us big? I think we're done talking about this stuff, right? There we go. That's what the people want to see, right? Or at least
yes,
mom and grandma.
sure.
Just kidding. Mom doesn't watch us.
Sad. I think if we had like talked about flowers and she would watch us a little bit more
A little flower content.
floral. But yeah, no. Overall, if you just look at the offense, it just feels like we are a little bit more dynamic and explosive.
No, I think it's a
More-
fact that they're more dynamic and explosive. They finally fixed the offensive line. To me, like I'm comfortable with the offensive line they're going into the season with.
Yeah,
Because like their tackles are good. They drafted a tackle, so it's like whoever starts at right tackle is going to be good. You have to earn it, and then maybe they replace Cordell Volson at left guard, and then they're going to have a really good line.
yeah, no, I think they like Cordell Volson. I think he's to me feels like he's going to be a Bengal for life type player.
He's Frank Pollock's like stepson or something. Like what?
Well, it's
what's
just like
the,
you
what's the
can't
obsession
have.
with a guy that's like bad, mediocre, man.
I don't know. I think he graded out really well the last half of the season. I know he had a really slow start.
Yeah, he was bad
but-
at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, but the last half of the season he played really well actually.
Oh yeah, okay, great. Wait till Burrow gets hurt.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see like either Amarius Mims next to Trent Brown or Orlando Brown Jr. Like
Yeah,
him as a swing tackle is going to be awesome. Like imagine two of them right next to each other. That's going to be crazy.
yeah, I can imagine it. Put him in as left guard. Beautiful.
You're looking forward to your first home Bengals game this year. You narrowed it down to 3 games: Eagles, Raiders, or Browns. Pick one. Which game should you go to?
Ooh, that's a good question. Eagles, Raiders, or Browns?
I feel like the Eagles game would be a lot of fun to go to.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be like one of those games where it could be high scoring.
Well, I'm eliminating the Browns game because of the weather, right? And then
Is it late in the season? Hold on, let me.
It's week 16.
Oh yeah.
So I would take out the Browns. So to me, it's definitely Eagles or Raiders would be the pick.
Well, this is what I would say about the Browns. I feel like that would be like what most people would think would be your natural pick because it's a divisional rival, but it also sucks twice as much when you lose. Because I specifically remember I went back to Ohio and it was a Thursday night game against the Browns, and it was like one of those games where like, oh, we're gonna win because the Browns sucked that year and we were good that particular year and we lost, and it was such a really crappy feeling that we lost to the Browns. But
I think I would go with the Raiders game because I feel like the Raiders game is going to be cheaper.
That's true.
And like Raiders fans are cool to look at. Raiders fans are cool, right? Eagles fans are. I have a friend who's Eagles fans. They're a-holes, right? You know. Raiders fans, they've got like personality, man. You got like all, you know. I mean, like, so you have that, and I think the Bengals are more likely to beat the Raiders than the Eagles.
Yeah,
the ticket prices will be cheaper against the Raiders. Weather's probably going to be a wash. One of those, you know, Cincinnati weather, right? Either October, November, who knows what the weather's going to be like. So it's hard to say. But I think, like, value for money, the Raiders game is going to be the one to go to.
And the Eagles game is the late afternoon game. Oh, well, I guess the thing with the Browns game, that's going to be a primetime game. That would be kind of cool.
But it's Thursday night. I don't know, man.
Night.
Thursday night in December could be real cold.
I would still say the Eagles, just
Okay.
because I feel like overall it probably would be the most exciting game to watch.
Yeah.
But I understand where you're coming from with the Raiders, though. You made a lot of good points.
I would go Raiders. So I guess Eagles or Raiders, man. Whichever one fits your schedule or budget. But
Are you going to go?
Feel like,
are you tailgating? You going to do it all, or you're just going to show up for the game? I recommend tailgating. I know it's I guess it's pretty involved when you do all that stuff, but I feel like you can meet a lot of other Bengals fans that way, and I don't know. I always enjoy tailgating.
I'm not a tailgater. For home games, I much prefer not tailgating. I like going to the banks is nice before a game. Like I would just start by the Red Stadium and just kind of work your way towards Paul Brown. Grab some beers, grab some food along the way. They have like 2 bands, 2 stages. It's a good thing to do. Like for sure though, for like Dallas in particular, it's like they have everything, but it's just like impossible to get anything from restaurants, from anybody to get like food
It's just
drink.
so many people.
There's just so many people that it's just like you want to have your own setup just so you can
Also
get a burger. It's
I
like
feel
impossible to get food.
I feel like the time that we went that last time,
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of like the perfect storm because a concert was starting right after
Yeah,
the
but
game.
it was like I went down there for when the Bearcats went to the Cotton Bowl. It was the same thing. It was like impossible to get any like food or drink out of Texas Live.
It's true because when you're there, and like it takes forever for the traffic to trickle out.
Yeah, but like you go to like the tailgate. I mean, so I did both, right? Like we went to Texas Live, and then we had friends who like set up a tailgate, and it's just better. You just show up at the tailgate, you get food, you get fed, you get some beers, throw football around a little bit.
I'm gonna do a little research and see if we can find where Bengals gym is gonna be. Maybe we can tailgate close to them.
We don't have to. We should just bring all the tailgate stuff, right?
Right.
And then not tailgate before the game. Go to walk over to wherever, Bengals gym is. Go to his much better tailgate. And then after the game, literally our tailgate is just so we can like have some food while we wait for 3 hours for the lot to clear out. Yeah. Just be hanging out, and I guess there'd be no games on at that point.
No.
Maybe we could play video games. Like I'm pretty excited about the NCAA game coming out. I'm pretty excited about that.
I feel like a lot of people are. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a decade, but I want to build my dynasty. I'm gonna run an all tight end offense.
What, for the Bearcats?
Yeah.
Are they gonna have like old school college players? I guess legacy players. I'm not sure if that's what you would call it.
I don't know. They haven't really advertised it. All the players they're showing on the cover are current players. It's hard to say.
Well, it'd be cool if you could play with like the Kelsey brothers as the Bearcats. Like if you could play with some of the better.
I mean, not that team. That team wasn't good.
Yeah, but the players themselves are good. I mean, you can mix and match. You can have some of the current players with some of the.
They weren't that good in college. I mean,
then how'd they make it to the NFL?
What?
You're talking about the Kelseys?
Yeah, I mean they were good enough to get drafted, but they weren't like first round picks or anything.
Thanks for your input, guys. Yeah, I want to do the whole experience, before the game. Yeah, no, I recommend it. It is what's the right word? I don't know. For me to get the full experience, if you do the tailgating, it's fun. But yeah, it is pretty involved.
Yeah, I mean tailgating's good. You could do the Banks, or you could try to find Bengals Jim. He has like a nice tailgate.
Yeah,
It's
I
cool.
was just saying,
I
like,
mean, especially if you have kids, going with you, like I would hit up Bengals gym because they've got like Tony the Tiger's there. He's
yeah,
a nice guy. He takes pictures. It's good.
yeah, no, he's always been real friendly when we've seen him.
Yeah,
I think we've met him 3 different times, right? Once was
3
in
different
Vegas,
times. Yeah, Vegas, Dallas.
and then maybe twice.
Yeah, just twice.
Because I don't think we saw him in Cincinnati. Ironically, you'd think that would be the easiest place to see him, but we've seen him everywhere else.
Now, I feel like away games is easier because, like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
like there's way fewer Bengals fans.
Right.
And everybody wants to bang.
I mean,
together.
and that's part of the reason why I want to try to get close to them, because I know there'd be like a group of Bengals fans. So
Well,
it'd be
yeah,
kind of
I
nice.
mean, we
to
could
stick
walk
with-
over, but to me, it's just like to me, the whole point of tailgating after is just so we have food after the game while we wait.
Right.
Game, it's
Wouldn't
like
you want to
easy.
wait with Bengals fans rather than Cowboy fans?
Well, after the game, who knows what's going to be, right?
That's true, because I feel like if the Cowboys
Well,
lose,
you
they're going to
could
try to get out
Google it
there.
because my guess is he would go to the same spot, and the Bengals played the Bengals played in Dallas recently, so it'd probably be the same deal.
Yeah, I feel like he would have, because to park like on the same, I guess, lot as the actual stadium, it costs a lot more. But then there was those other parking lots that was kind of like off campus.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where I would envision where we would park. It's kind of like off campus because it would be closer to the exit anyways. So I feel like it'd be a little bit quicker
Park
to
at
get
the
out.
Walmart.
I mean, people can do that, or they do that, but I guess there's a risk of getting towed.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I would never do
Nah,
that.
nah, I'm gonna pay whatever it is, the 150 bucks just to get the parking pass, because it's worth it. Because
Yeah.
nothing was worse waiting. What we wait like literally an hour and a half for Uber to drive 3.2 miles to get to us. It was horrible.
It was bad.
Yeah, like nothing was moving. But yeah, I think tailgating.
No, the funniest part about the whole thing was that you were surprised. And like I was trying to tell you the whole time before the game, it's like it's going to be a total shit show.
yeah.
Like, nah, we get Uber, it'll be real. And I'm like, all right.
Well, I think too, our Uber, or at least the guy that I got, was trying to, I guess, weasel his way out of it, because I don't think he really wanted to drive to Frisco. Like it felt like one of the situations where if he went slow enough, we would cancel it. Because I think they get dinged if they cancel it on their side. So I don't know. It just seemed weird how long it took him. Because like another thing is when you have Uber or whatever, you can see where they're driving. And like there was times where I just saw him like pull off to the side and like, where are you going?
Just trying to find a shortcut.
No, I think he was trying to delay.
Mhm.
But you live and you learn. Yeah, I guess I think we pretty much exhausted everything we could talk about.
That
for the most part.
topic. Wait,
What do you mean?
we didn't exhaust air quotes.
Well, in terms of reacting to the NFL or the Bengals 2024 schedule, I don't know. I guess to kind of recap, I was kind of shocked to see 5 primetime games.
5 primetime games, easy strength of schedule. Let's go.
Yeah, and then I feel like the first half of the schedule is a bit easier than the second half. So I mean, if they can get that hot start, I mean, not to jinx it, but if you start 4-0 and have that win against the Chiefs, I mean, that would put us in a really strong position to get that number 1 seed towards the end of the year. And I think they need to do everything they can to do that, because I think it's such a big advantage nowadays with the 17-game schedule.
To me, schedule doesn't matter. All that matters is keeping number 9 healthy. 9 is healthy. Bengals have a shot.
Yeah,
So-
and if he needs a rest at some point in the season, do it, because we know we have a decent backup that could win us a game if he needs to. So I'm all for resting people throughout the season if you need to, because at the end of the day, we want him to be there when it matters the most at the end of the season. But That only makes sense if you have a really hot
So
start.
you want to run the Bengals like you're an NBA franchise. Just do load management.
Yeah, I think that's smart, actually.
Yeah, I don't agree. I think it's smart to sign Trent Brown and draft Amarius Mims. That's what I think is smart. Just get big dudes and tell them, don't let number 9 get hurt.
Yeah, I can't wait to see our jumbo package. That's going to be awesome. Because having Mims, Brown, and OBJ.
I feel like we are the jumbo package of the live stream game. Or maybe even if we're not, I'd like to refer to ourselves as the jumbo package.
I accept that. All right.
All right. I think it's time to end it.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, 619 Bengals fan. Appreciate you stopping by. Have a great night.
Peace. Peace.
Sorry, I gotta click on this thing. I keep forgetting.
Keep it going.
Right.
Keep it going.
Hold it. Pause.
I'll do